That is, until the morning of the 30th of August that year, when the bodies of 38-year-old Christine and her 7-year-old daughter Amber were found hacked to death in a vicious and bloody attack. Christine's husband Mark was away on a business trip over 90 miles from home. But that didn't stop him from becoming the police's #1 suspect. The authorities embarked on an ambitious mental gymnastics routine to not only prove that Mark Lundy could have done it, but also to convince 2 separate juries, beyond any reasonable doubt, that he did do it. For the people of New Zealand, it's the case that refuses to die, littered with accusations of junk science, implausible timelines, and even a questionable psychic witness, my favourite. All culminating in the ultimate question: did an innocent man spend 20 years behind bars? You know how Italy's the science lab of Europe? Everything starts there. It gets tested out in Italy first, like fascism, and then it spreads. I think New Zealand is the maternity ward for the wrongful conviction lobby. They fucking love them. I think it's because there's so few murders that when someone does get convicted, they're like, surely not.
A lot of excitement about putting this guy away. And just by any means possible, as we will get to. It's a pretty wild ride. I also had never heard of this case, but I'm thoroughly glad we're covering it because there's a lot of theories. But before we get into spouting, let's start with the facts. Like the discovery of the bodies, Christine's younger brother, Glenn Weggery, popped over to the Lundy house at about 8:45 a.m. to check if Christine had done his tax return for him like she'd promised. Entering through the open conservatory sliding door, Glenn went upstairs and walked straight into a nightmare. His niece, 7-year-old Amber, was lying in the hallway in her nightie, covered in blood. The back of her skull had been smashed open. In the master bedroom, Glenn found his sister Christine. She was lying naked in bed. Her face had been mutilated beyond all recognition, and blood and chunks of brain matter were splattered all over the walls and ceiling.
Investigators concluded that mum and daughter had been attacked at some point the night before with a small axe-like weapon in a frenzied onslaught, like Lizzie Borden. Christine had defensive wounds all over her arms, indicating that she'd fought back against her attacker with everything she had. The position of Amber's body on the threshold of the bedroom suggested that she'd likely been trying to flee down the hallway when she was struck from behind